It's almost laughable if it weren't so tragic. The article ends with Elizabeth Gutfar boldly declaring, "I will commit to being treasurer. I will not sell real estate. I will cut all ties. I believe being a treasurer is a full-time job." She said it with absolute confidence, no hesitation, no guilt, just pure deceit rolling off her tongue. And in the end, she got exactly what she wanted: to play the political game, make a fortune, and vanish after draining the county dry. This is a behavior of someone fully consumed by greed, addicted to the rush of getting away with it. Each stolen transfer must have felt like a dopamine hit, a high she couldn't resist. Because what else could drive someone to steal like this, over and over, knowing it would all come crashing down? 10 years in prison? That's barely a slap on the wrist. After living large on taxpayer money, why should she get off easy? That money is long gone, and the damage can't be undone. Elizabeth Gutfar, the former Santa Cruz County Treasurer, stands accused of embezzling more than $39 million in taxpayer funds. To put that in perspective, the county only collects about $41 million a year, money meant for schools, the community college, and public services. For a decade, auditors say Gutfar funneled millions into her personal accounts while falsifying reports and deceiving her own staff, county officials, and state auditors. The biggest transfers came near the end, when Chase Bank's anti-money laundering unit flagged $4.5 million in suspicious wires tied to businesses under her name. That's when everything unraveled: her resignation, followed by an all-out FBI and state investigation. Her attorney refuses to cooperate, and while no criminal charges have officially been filed yet, the county is suing to recover what's left. A judge froze her assets to stop her from hiding the money, but investigators say she'd already gained total control of the system. She reportedly convinced her deputy treasurer to hand over access codes, keeping all 6 employees in the dark. She even used bribes disguised as gifts: a $6,000 loan for a new air conditioner, paid phone bills, and birthday cash handouts. One staffer's sister borrowed her car. Another got her daughter's wedding hosted at Gutfar's ranch. These weren't kind gestures. They were loyalty purchases, hush money wrapped in generosity. But the real embarrassment? The Santa Cruz County Board. Their oversight was practically non-existent. They missed glaring red flags, like the same unchanged monthly report that stayed identical for over a year. How does that even happen? Now, $39 million has vanished into thin air, and the woman behind it all gets a measly 10 years. For most locals, that sentence feels like an insult, a mockery of justice. One board member said they begged for the maximum penalty, but it still feels like a slap on the wrist. For a decade-long con fueled by greed and betrayal, 10 years behind bars doesn't seem close to enough. Meanwhile, similar financial mismanagement is casting a shadow in Illinois. Thornton Township trustees Mary Avant, Chris Gonzalez, Valeria Stubbs, and Byron Stanley are all listed with salaries of $14,710. But here's the twist. Those numbers don't match the official pay scale. As first-term trustees, Avant, Stubbs, and Stanley should only be earning $11,195. Gonzalez, the only second-term member, is the only one correctly paid. Then there's Robert Hunt, the township's finance director, still collecting a massive $116,455 salary, despite being a holdover from the Henyard and Zuccarelli administrations. When residents asked to see the township's tentative budget, Hunt brushed them off and told them to ask the clerk. But the finance director isn't answering budget questions. Then who is? Once again, it's the same story. Confusion, blame shifting, and zero accountability. Clerk Casey Nesbitt pulls in $17,825 a year, serving as both township clerk and FOIA officer. She claims that's perfectly in line with the salary schedule, but funny enough, the document she shared only lists her own pay. Convenient, right? So yeah, take that with a grain of salt. Then there's Highway Commissioner Antoine Russell, who's raking in $27,519. Even though first-term commissioners are only supposed to earn $17,825. That's nearly $10,000 more than what's allowed. Overpaid, under-questioned, same story. And while Assessor Cassandra Stan reportedly earns $53,716 a year, No one's checking whether that matches the official schedule. So maybe she's good, or maybe no one's looking close enough. Now, let's talk about Heath Price, the man running Thornton Township's food pantry in Harvey, a known Tiffany Henyard insider. And yes, he's still there. His salary? $72,219. For context, that's more than some department heads make. Insiders say Price has mellowed out lately. Less tension, more smiles. Maybe that steady paycheck calmed him down. Didn't drop a single pound, but Heavy's little brother sure looks comfortable cashing those township checks. So here we are. Tiffany Henyard's gone, but the financial chaos hasn't left with her. The red flags are still waving high. Makes you stop and think. Was some of what Tiffany said actually true? She's not off the hook, not by a long shot, but clearly, she wasn't the only one mishandling taxpayer money. It's a whole system problem. A public hearing is now set for Tuesday, July 22nd at 5 p.m., covering the general fund, general assistance, and road and bridge fund budgets. Translation? It's time to keep your eyes locked on Thornton Township, because the show's far from over. And let's not act like we forgot. Remember when they all rallied for Napoleon Harris? That massive gym event where Tiffany claimed she and her people were locked out? Yeah, that one. We all said, "Girls, stop." But guess what? It worked. Napoleon's now sitting comfy, pulling a township salary north of $200,000, plus his existing $89,000 gig. Life's good when you're part of the circle. Huh? So yeah, we'll be watching how this unfolds. If you're still tuned in, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and drop your thoughts below. And to those out here spinning false narratives, especially black folks tearing down a black woman in power, you should be ashamed, because at this rate, some of y'all might just end up in jail right next to her. Unask that seat. And to the one who tried to thank Tiffany Henyard, come here, say that foolishness again. Matter of fact, shut your stupid ass up